Hi, Joe Doyle here. I always get people telling me that they're stressed out in business and they don't know how to deal with it. So let's see if we can kind of scratch beneath the surface a little bit and make some sense of it all. Today we're going to use the example of Tom the Plumber. Tom is a plumber and he decides he wants to set up his own plumbing company called Tom's Plumbing Company. But he's been stressed out. It's been going on a while and he doesn't know what exactly is going on. The reason why Tom is making this mistake and he's stressed out is because he still thinks like Tom the Plumber rather than think like the owner of Tom's Plumbing Company. The biggest mistake that Tom made was he didn't set out an organisational chart, and we're going to use this graph here just to explain. The first thing Tom must do is he must set out every role within the company: CEO, General Manager, Sales, Marketing, Accounts, Administration, Customer Care, Works, HR. Tom is in charge of the Works, and Tom is also the #1 plumber, and he has a helper. In this organisation here, there's two employees. There's Tom and Tom's helper. Tom's helper just fulfills one role, which is a helper to Tom, whereas Tom fulfills the role of CEO, General Manager, Sales, Marketing, Accounts, Administration, Customer Care, Works, HR, and as we know, he's also the plumber as well. In order for Tom to get clarity on what's going on, he must understand that he is now in all of these roles, and at any given time in the company there can always be a problem, but the problem will always be linked to one of the people in one of these roles. As time goes on, Tom can hire more and more people. For example, the first person that Tom might hire is somebody to help him with his admin work. He might hire a guy called Liam. Now Tom doesn't have to do the administration anymore. The next thing Tom might do is hire somebody to do his account works, so he goes and hires Noel. Now Tom doesn't have to do the accounts or the administration no more. The more and more the company grows, the more and more Tom can take himself out of these roles and replace them with someone else. As we know, the problem is Tom is stressed out, but he can't keep up with the workload. In this situation, the problem with Tom is that he has lots and lots of work, but he can't find the manpower to deal with it. He doesn't know what to do, so Tom's strategy, thinking like Tom the Plumber, is to simply go and work harder and work longer. Tom the CEO decides that he does not have enough manpower, so what he does is he tells Tom the General Manager to go and get Tom the Plumber to work harder and work longer. Tom the Plumber works harder and longer, and this is okay for a while, but then Tom the Plumber can't do anymore, because whilst Tom the Plumber is doing the plumbing work, he's also in charge of the customer care, the HR, the sales, the marketing, and he's also the CEO and the General Manager. In this instance here, Tom has a massive demand for his services, but he doesn't have the manpower. The problem that we really have here is Tom the HR man is not doing his job properly. What needs to happen is Tom the CEO needs to speak to Tom the General Manager and say, "Hey General Manager, get on to the HR guy and get that problem solved now, because if you don't get that problem solved, I'm going to tell you to fire the HR guy." So Tom the General Manager has a word with Tom the HR guy and says, "Listen man, you need to up your game here dramatically." So Tom is now struggling with Tom the HR guy and Tom the Plumber, but the reality is if he keeps prioritising Tom the Plumber, he's never going to be able to take in more people for Team 2 or Team 3. What happens then is Tom the Plumber needs to take a day off, maybe even 2 days, and even at the expense of the company, and then Tom the HR guy goes into full flow to try and find new staff. Eventually he finds a new guy. Now we have Paul the Plumber. Then we also get a helper, which is easy enough to find. Now at this point in time the pressure's off Tom the Plumber a little bit, but he's still on the tools. As time goes on then he has a little bit more free time to go and find another plumber. Next, Tom goes and hires another plumber called John. Now he has 3 plumbers including himself. At this point in time, Tom wants to take himself out of the box here and no longer do the day-to-day work, but just oversee the works. Now we hire George in here, so at this point in time Tom is off the tools and he's up here in the works manager role. Let's say this works for a while and now we've 3 teams on the road. Tom is the works manager and he's doing all this other stuff, but work then starts to dry up. So it's up to Tom the CEO, who notices that there's not enough money coming in for whatever reason. Tom the CEO speaks to Tom the General Manager, who goes down and said, "Lads, why aren't you doing more work?" George, Paul and John tell Tom the works manager that there's not enough work for them. Then Tom the General Manager needs to go over to both Tom the marketing guy and Tom the sales guy. Tom the works manager, you need to take some time off and you need to go and get Tom the sales guy to up his game dramatically. Eventually Tom the sales guy goes out on the road and he generates some more business. Then Tom the marketing guy, he makes contact with people and they put a marketing campaign together. All of a sudden the company's growing again. We now have 3 teams, but Tom the works manager is getting busy, so he wants to leave this job. He leaves this job and he promotes George to be the works manager. Now at this point in time, Tom can take care of sales, marketing, running the company and being the general manager overseeing everything. Tom also takes charge of customer care and he also takes charge of HR. Again, as the company grows, Tom might decide to take on one more guy. We'll call him Ringo, and because the company's not that big, Ringo's going to come in here and he's going to do the work 50-50 split between sales and marketing, and Tom's going to come out of the equation here again. What this means is Tom is now getting better and better at his job and the company's growing all the time. The difference now is Tom is not thinking like Tom the Plumber anymore. Tom is now thinking like the CEO of Tom's Plumbing Company. That's how Tom becomes successful, because Tom knows no matter how good you are at your job, you are only as good as your team.